Imagine for a moment the vastness of the universe, the endless stretch of stars, the silent orchestration of galaxies, the precision with which life itself unfolds. You are not an accident. You are not here by random chance. There is intention behind your existence, a divine design that surpasses human comprehension. The Creator, in infinite wisdom, chose to place consciousness into this world through you, to let the spark of divinity shine through your thoughts, actions, and presence. You may feel small, insignificant even when you glance at the immensity of creation, but understand this: the very fact that you exist is proof of a deliberate, sacred purpose, a reason for being that transcends fleeting pleasures and temporal concerns. Life, in its essence, is a journey of awakening. Every challenge you face, every obstacle you encounter, is a tool designed to awaken your soul, to refine your spirit, and to align you with the higher calling for which you were made. You were created not merely to live, but to reflect the divine attributes of love, wisdom, and compassion in every interaction, to be a vessel through which the eternal flows into the temporal. And yet, many wander through life blindly, chasing illusions, tethered to desires that offer no lasting fulfillment. True freedom, true strength, lies not in indulgence or attachment, but in detachment. The ability to navigate the world without being consumed by it, to act with clarity without being swayed by fear, doubt, or societal expectation. Detachment is not abandonment. It is not indifference. It is the mastery of self, the recognition that your worth, your purpose, your power is not dependent on validation or outcome. When you are detached, you move through the world with precision, with focus, and with an unshakable sense of purpose. You are able to love without clinging, to serve without seeking reward, to act without being imprisoned by outcome. In that space of detachment, the soul becomes resilient, the heart becomes steadfast, and the spirit becomes capable of miracles. Humanity is entrusted with a responsibility far beyond personal fulfillment. You are stewards of creation, caretakers of life, bearers of the torch of consciousness. Every thought you nurture, every word you speak, every choice you make ripples outward, touching others in ways you may never see. To exist without awareness of this responsibility is to squander the precious gift of life. To live consciously in alignment with divine purpose is to step into the fullness of your being, to recognize the sacred role you play in the cosmic tapestry. You were placed here not to dominate, not to control, but to serve, to uplift, to bring light into the darkness wherever you find it. The trials of life are not punishments. They are invitations to rise above the ordinary, to shed illusions, to confront the limitations of the self, and to embrace the infinite potential of the spirit. When suffering comes, do not turn away or despair. It is a mirror reflecting the areas where your soul has yet to awaken, where your heart has yet to grow. In pain, you find clarity. In struggle, you discover resilience. In loss, you encounter profound lessons about the transient nature of the material world. And in these lessons, the soul learns to detach, to trust, to flow with the eternal rhythm of creation. Every human heart longs for significance, yet too often it seeks it in the wrong places, in wealth, in power, in fleeting relationships, in accomplishments that fade with time. True significance is found in alignment with purpose, in surrender to the divine will, in acting as an instrument of something far greater than oneself. When you live with this awareness, life transforms from a chaotic series of events into a coherent, purposeful journey. You begin to see every encounter, every challenge, every success and failure as a stepping stone toward awakening, as a call to deeper understanding, as a reflection of the divine plan at work in your life. The measure of inner strength is not how tightly you cling to comfort, nor how fiercely you pursue desire, but how gracefully you release what no longer serves you, how courageously you face the unknown, how faithfully you walk the path of purpose, even when the world resists. Detachment cultivates this strength. It allows you to observe the fluctuations of life without being consumed, to respond rather than react, to act with wisdom rather than impulse. It teaches you that you are not defined by circumstance, that your spirit is unbounded, that your essence is eternal and untouchable by the fleeting shadows of the temporal world. When you cultivate spiritual awareness, you begin to recognize the divine in yourself and in others. You understand that every soul is connected, that every life carries meaning, that every action contributes to the greater good. You begin to act not from ego, but from conscience, not from fear, but from clarity, not from attachment, but from love. And in this alignment, life gains depth, richness, and a sense of sacredness that cannot be found through external accumulation or superficial pursuit. You begin to live as you were intended, as a reflection of the divine, as a bearer of light, as a conscious participant in the unfolding of creation. The power of detachment also allows you to transcend judgment, to rise above resentment, to embrace forgiveness. When you are anchored in purpose, when you understand why you exist, the petty conflicts, the fears, the grievances of the world lose their grip on you. You are free to move with intention, to act with integrity, to respond with wisdom. The soul that has mastered detachment becomes a lighthouse in a storm, a steady presence amid chaos, a vessel through which divine energy flows effortlessly into the world. Life is not meant to be a series of endless pursuits for pleasure or avoidance of pain. It is meant to be a conscious, purposeful journey, a journey of awakening, of service, of alignment with the eternal. You were not created to drift through existence unnoticed. You were created to illuminate, to guide, to awaken, to transform. And every step you take toward this awareness, every moment you spend cultivating detachment and spiritual clarity, brings you closer to realizing the profound truth of your existence, that you are not here by accident, that your life is a sacred trust, that you carry within you the spark of the divine that can never be extinguished. To live fully is to embrace this purpose, to embody detachment as strength, to recognize the interconnected responsibility of your existence, and to move through the world with unwavering clarity and conviction. Each choice, each action, each intention matters. Every challenge is an opportunity to grow. Every loss is a lesson in resilience. Every joy is a reflection of the divine presence that animates your life. The soul that awakens to this truth experiences a freedom that transcends circumstance, a peace that surpasses understanding, and a power that is rooted in alignment with the eternal, unchanging wisdom of creation. You were created to see beyond the illusions of the world, to understand the transient nature of material attachments, to act as a beacon of purpose and clarity, to cultivate a heart that is strong yet gentle, detached yet compassionate, aware yet humble. Your existence is not a mere accident of nature, but a deliberate act of divine intention. As you awaken to this truth, as you embody the principles of detachment, service, and alignment with purpose, life begins to unfold with meaning, depth, and transformative power. Close your eyes for a moment and consider this: you were brought into this world not merely to exist, but to fulfill a purpose that stretches far beyond your understanding. There is a divine rhythm at work in your life, a pattern that was set before time itself, and every heartbeat, every breath, every challenge you face is part of this sacred design. You may feel lost in the chaos of the world, unsure of your path, weighed down by circumstance. But the truth is that you are here because you were chosen, because your presence carries significance that cannot be measured by wealth, status, or fleeting pleasure. Life is a call to awaken to that reality, to see beyond the surface, to recognize that your existence is not a coincidence, but a deliberate act of divine wisdom. Humans are not merely observers of life. They are participants in creation itself. Every action you take, every thought you nurture, every word you speak ripples outward in ways you cannot fully perceive. You are entrusted with the responsibility to act with intention, to embody principles that reflect the eternal, to live as a conscious expression of the divine will. And yet, too often, we become entangled in the illusions of the material world, chasing desires that fade, seeking validation that is temporary, and measuring our worth by standards that do not align with our spiritual essence. The path to true fulfillment is not found in accumulation or approval, but in alignment, in recognizing your sacred role, and in living with unwavering commitment to purpose. Detachment is the key that unlocks this understanding. It is not the rejection of life, but the mastery over it. The ability to move through the world with clarity and grace, unshaken by fear, expectation, or attachment. To detach is to recognize the impermanence of circumstance and the eternal nature of the soul. When you practice detachment, you no longer act from desperation or ego, but from wisdom and conviction. Your choices become deliberate, your actions resonate with authenticity, and your heart gains the freedom to love without clinging. to serve without seeking reward, and to face adversity with unyielding courage. Detachment is not weakness, it is the highest expression of strength, a sign of inner mastery that allows you to operate in alignment with the divine plan. Consider the trials you face. They are not punishments, but invitations to awaken. Every obstacle, every moment of pain, every failure is a teacher guiding you toward the realization of your purpose. Suffering is a tool that exposes the illusions of attachment, the fragility of ego, and the need to anchor yourself in what is eternal. When you learn to see through the lens of spiritual insight, challenges cease to be burdens. They become opportunities to cultivate resilience, clarity, and deeper understanding. Each difficulty carries a hidden message, a sacred lesson, a call to step into the fullness of your being and embrace the divine attributes embedded within you. Humans were created to grow in awareness, to recognize the spark of divinity within themselves and in others. To exist without this recognition is to wander blindly, to drift through life without direction, to miss the sacred significance of each moment. Spiritual growth requires courage, the courage to face the unknown, to confront personal limitations, and to rise above the superficial demands of the world. It demands patience, for awakening is not instantaneous, and discernment, for not all that appears to be valuable aligns with the eternal purpose. And it requires detachment, for only when we release the grip of transient concerns can we step fully into the clarity and power that comes from understanding why we were placed here. The divine purpose of humans extends beyond self-realization. You are not alone in your journey. You are part of a greater tapestry, interconnected with every soul, every living being, every aspect of creation. Your actions affect others in ways you cannot always see, and your choices resonate in the world far beyond the boundaries of your immediate life. This interconnectedness is a sacred responsibility. To live consciously is to recognize that your presence matters, that your contributions can heal or harm, uplift or diminish, and that the alignment of your life with truth and purpose has profound consequences. When you act with this awareness, you step into the power that comes from understanding that life is not random, but a precise orchestration of cause, effect, and divine intention. Detachment allows you to move within this interconnected world with clarity and integrity. It frees you from the need to manipulate outcomes or seek external validation. It allows you to respond to challenges with wisdom rather than emotion, to make decisions that reflect principle rather than impulse, to serve others with a heart that is guided by insight rather than desire. Emotional and spiritual detachment does not diminish compassion, it amplifies it. The soul that masters detachment can love more deeply, serve more authentically, and act more decisively because it is no longer bound by fear, anxiety, or the pressure of worldly expectation. Every human life carries the potential to reflect divine wisdom, but that potential must be realized through conscious effort. To live without reflection, without awareness, without intention, is to squander the sacred gift of existence. Your thoughts, your words, your deeds are the instruments through which divine purpose is expressed in the temporal world. To neglect this is to ignore the calling for which you were created. The measure of life is not in comfort or acclaim, but in alignment with eternal principles, in clarity of purpose, in the strength to remain unwavering amidst adversity, and in the ability to act with integrity even when the world resists. Spiritual awakening also involves the cultivation of humility. Recognition of your divine purpose does not lead to arrogance, but to reverence. You are part of something far greater than yourself, a living expression of eternal wisdom. Humility allows you to learn from experience, to grow from challenge, to embrace the lessons hidden in every encounter. It allows you to remain centered even when the world pulls you in 1,000 directions. Humility coupled with detachment creates a foundation of inner strength, a power that is not dependent on circumstance, a light that shines steadily through the darkest nights. The pursuit of purpose, the practice of detachment, the awareness of interconnected responsibility, and the embrace of spiritual growth are not theoretical concepts. They are practical pathways to living as you were created to live. Every moment is an opportunity to awaken, to align, to act in harmony with the eternal design. Every breath is a chance to release fear, to cultivate clarity, to embrace resilience, and to step fully into the divine role entrusted to you. Your life is a sacred journey, and each step taken with consciousness, each choice made with discernment, each act performed with detachment and love brings you closer to realizing the profound truth of your existence. The world may demand your attention, pull at your emotions, tempt you with transient desires, and overwhelm you with distractions, but the soul that knows its purpose remains steady. It does not react impulsively. It does not cling to fleeting gain. It does not waver in the face of challenge. It moves with precision, guided by eternal wisdom, aligned with divine intention, and rooted in the recognition that life is far more than the pursuit of comfort or the avoidance of pain. Life is a sacred opportunity to awaken, to serve, to reflect the divine, and to fulfill the purpose for which you were brought into this world. Consider for a moment the mystery of your existence. You are not placed on this earth by accident. There is a reason, a divine intention, a sacred purpose behind every breath you take. The universe is vast beyond comprehension, yet within that vastness, your life carries meaning, a role uniquely yours, a contribution that only you can make. Many wander through life seeking comfort, chasing recognition, grasping for temporary satisfaction, and yet they fail to see the eternal design at work in their own souls. To live fully, to awaken to your true purpose, is to recognize that you are not here for trivial pursuits, but for a calling that transcends time, circumstance, and human expectation. Humans were created to reflect the divine, to act as instruments of higher wisdom, to carry the spark of the eternal into the temporal world. Every moment is an opportunity to awaken to this reality. Every challenge, every encounter, every loss and gain is a tool for spiritual growth, a mirror reflecting the areas where the soul needs refinement. Life is not a casual journey. It is a deliberate, purposeful unfolding designed to test, to teach, and to elevate the spirit. Those who understand this walk with clarity, with focus, with an unwavering awareness that every action has significance, every thought carries weight, and every intention shapes not only their destiny, but also the world around them. Detachment is the cornerstone of this understanding. To detach is not to disengage from life, but to engage with it fully, without being enslaved by fleeting desires, fears, or the expectations of others. Emotional and spiritual detachment is the practice of observing reality without judgment, of acting with discernment, of moving through the world with integrity while remaining unshaken by circumstance. The detached soul is not cold or indifferent. It is strong, centered, resilient, and capable of profound compassion. It loves without clinging, gives without seeking reward, and acts without fear of outcome. Detachment allows clarity to emerge, allowing one to see the truth of existence and act in harmony with divine purpose rather than the illusions of the material world. Life is a series of lessons designed to awaken the soul. Trials are not punishments, they are invitations. Every moment of pain, every struggle, every disappointment is a reflection of the areas where growth is required. In suffering, there is clarity. In challenge, there is strength. In loss, there is the opportunity for profound insight. Those who learn to embrace these lessons without attachment to comfort or expectation cultivate a power that is unshakable, a courage that is unwavering, and a wisdom that transcends circumstance. Every difficulty becomes a teacher, every obstacle a guide, every moment a doorway into a deeper understanding of why you were placed here. Humans were created not only for self-realization, but also for stewardship. You are part of a larger design, a greater tapestry, interconnected with every living being, every element of creation, every ripple of energy in the universe. Your thoughts, words, and deeds do not exist in isolation. They influence, shape, and transform the world around you. Recognizing this responsibility is a mark of maturity and spiritual awakening. To live consciously is to understand that your life matters, that your choices have consequences, and that your alignment with purpose can bring healing, guidance, and illumination to others. Your presence is sacred, and the awareness of this truth changes everything in how you move, speak, and act in the world. Detachment empowers the soul to navigate this interconnected reality with clarity. It liberates one from the need to control, to manipulate, to seek validation or recognition. It allows the individual to act from principle, not from impulse, to respond with wisdom, not emotion, to serve others without expectation of reward. The power of detachment is not in isolation, but in connection informed by insight, in service executed with clarity, and in action guided by divine understanding rather than human desire. The detached soul becomes a beacon in the midst of confusion, a steady presence amid chaos, and a vessel through which higher wisdom can flow unhindered. Spiritual awareness is cultivated through reflection, discipline, and conscious engagement with life. To awaken is to recognize the spark of divinity within oneself and in all beings. It is to see that every human is a reflection of the eternal, that life is more than survival or pursuit of comfort, and that every action carries the potential to create transformation. Spiritual growth requires courage, the courage to face the unknown, the courage to confront the limitations of the self, and the courage to rise above the distractions and illusions of the world. It requires patience, for awakening unfolds gradually, and it requires discernment, for not all that appears valuable aligns with eternal truth. Humility accompanies this awakening. Recognition of your divine purpose is not a cause for pride. It is an invitation to reverence, reflection, and service. Humility allows the soul to receive lessons from life, to learn from challenges, to grow through adversity, and to act with integrity regardless of circumstance. Combined with detachment, humility produces inner strength, a steady courage, and a power rooted not in control of the world, but in alignment with eternal principles. The awakened soul does not seek recognition. It embodies wisdom, radiates compassion, and moves through life with a quiet authority that emanates from understanding rather than ego. Life is a sacred opportunity to live with intention. Every decision, every thought, every word has the potential to reflect the divine or to perpetuate illusion. To live unconsciously is to waste the gift of existence. To live intentionally is to honor the sacred purpose for which you were created. The pursuit of worldly gain is temporary. The pursuit of awakening is eternal. When you align with purpose, cultivate detachment, embrace responsibility, and seek spiritual growth, every action becomes an expression of divine will. Life becomes coherent, meaningful, and transformative. Challenges are no longer obstacles, but instruments of awakening. And joy is not merely pleasure, but a reflection of harmony with eternal truth. Your existence carries significance beyond comprehension. The soul that awakens to its purpose recognizes that life is more than circumstance, more than desire, more than transient achievement. It is a journey of service, reflection, alignment, and growth. Each moment provides the opportunity to cultivate inner strength, to exercise detachment, to act with integrity, and to express the divinity inherent within. The awakened individual moves through life with precision, clarity, and unwavering conviction, aware that the world's distractions cannot shake the inner foundation built upon truth, purpose, and alignment with the eternal design. The human spirit is designed to rise above fear, doubt, and attachment. By embracing detachment, by recognizing interconnected responsibility, by pursuing spiritual awareness, and by cultivating humility, humans tap into a strength that is unmatched, a clarity that is unshakable, and a power that is rooted in eternal wisdom rather than temporal circumstance. The world may pull in many directions, but the soul anchored in purpose remains steady, undistracted, resilient, and luminous. Every encounter, every challenge, every moment carries the opportunity to awaken, to serve, and to embody the divine presence that resides within you. Close your eyes and imagine the vastness of existence, the infinite expanse of the cosmos, the intricate precision of life unfolding, the silent orchestration of events beyond human understanding. You are not here by accident. Your life is intentional, deliberate, and sacred. The Creator has placed you into this world with a purpose that transcends comfort, achievement, and fleeting desire. Every breath you take, every moment you live, every challenge you face carries a lesson, a call, a divine opportunity for awakening. To exist is to participate in a greater design, to embody principles that reflect eternal wisdom, and to recognize that your presence matters in ways far beyond what the mind can measure. Humans were created to awaken spiritually, to rise above the superficial distractions of the world, and to embody the divine attributes within themselves. Life is a journey of recognition, a path toward clarity, resilience, and alignment with eternal truth. Every experience, whether joyful or painful, is designed to reveal something about the soul, to refine the heart, and to awaken the consciousness to a purpose greater than the self. The human spirit is not meant for trivial pursuits. It is meant to move, to act, and to serve in accordance with the eternal plan, to reflect divine wisdom through action, thought, and intention. Those who live without awareness drift aimlessly, but those who awaken recognize the sacred calling woven into each moment of life. Detachment is the key to accessing this calling. To detach is not to disengage or reject life, but to engage fully with awareness and clarity, free from fear, desire, and attachment to outcome. Emotional and spiritual detachment is the strength that allows one to act from principle rather than impulse, to respond with wisdom rather than reaction, and to move with courage and precision through the trials of existence. It is the freedom to love without clinging, to give without expectation, to act without bondage to approval or recognition. Detachment does not diminish compassion, it amplifies it. The soul that practices detachment becomes steady, luminous, and capable of profound transformation, a beacon of clarity amidst the turbulence of the world. Life's challenges are not punishments, but invitations. Every difficulty, every disappointment, every moment of loss carries a lesson designed to awaken the spirit and reveal the areas where growth is required. Suffering exposes illusion, detaches the soul from the temporary, and allows the individual to see clearly the difference between what is eternal and what is fleeting. Those who embrace challenges with awareness cultivate resilience, courage, and insight, discovering the hidden opportunities within adversity. Each struggle, each pain, each setback is a mirror reflecting the areas where spiritual refinement is needed, and the soul that rises through these trials grows stronger, wiser, and more aligned with its divine purpose. Humans were created not only for personal awakening, but also for stewardship. You are part of an interconnected reality, woven into the fabric of creation, responsible for influencing, shaping, and contributing to the greater whole. Your thoughts, words, and actions have consequences far beyond what you can perceive, affecting the lives of others and the balance of the world around you. Recognizing this responsibility is a sign of spiritual maturity. Life is not solely about personal gain or comfort. It is about understanding your role in the larger tapestry, acting consciously, and using your presence to reflect light, wisdom, and compassion in every interaction. Detachment enables the soul to navigate this interconnected world with clarity. It frees one from the need to control outcomes, to seek validation, or to cling to transient pleasures. It allows individuals to act with integrity, to make decisions rooted in principle, and to serve others from a place of authenticity rather than obligation. The power of detachment lies in its ability to create freedom within, allowing the individual to move gracefully through life, to respond rather than react, and to cultivate inner strength that cannot be shaken by circumstance. The detached soul becomes a vessel of divine energy, a source of wisdom, and a guide for others seeking clarity in a world full of noise and distraction. Spiritual awareness grows through reflection, discipline, and conscious engagement with life. To awaken is to recognize the spark of divinity within oneself and in every being. It is to see that life is not random but intentional, that every encounter and every event carries a lesson or a blessing, and that each action you take contributes to the greater design. Growth requires courage, the courage to face fear, the courage to confront limitations, and the courage to rise above distraction and illusion. It requires patience, for awakening is gradual, and discernment, for not all that appears valuable aligns with eternal truth. Those who cultivate spiritual awareness walk with purpose, act with integrity, and embody wisdom in every step. Humility accompanies this awakening. True recognition of purpose does not lead to pride, it leads to reverence. Humility allows the soul to learn from every experience, to receive lessons from adversity, and to act with integrity regardless of circumstance. When combined with detachment, humility produces inner power that is not dependent on external conditions. It is a strength rooted in clarity, a courage anchored in principle, and a presence that radiates calm confidence. The awakened individual does not seek applause or recognition. They embody wisdom, radiate compassion, and move through life with authority born of understanding rather than ego. Every moment is an opportunity to align with purpose, to act consciously, and to awaken the spirit. Life is a sacred gift, and each thought, word, and action carries the potential to either reflect divine wisdom or perpetuate illusion. To live without awareness is to waste the precious gift of existence. To live intentionally is to honor the sacred reason for which you were created. Alignment with purpose transforms every experience, infuses every interaction with meaning, and allows the individual to navigate challenges with clarity and resilience. Joy, then, is not merely pleasure, but a reflection of harmony with eternal truth. And suffering becomes a tool for growth rather than a source of despair. The human spirit is designed to rise above fear, doubt, and distraction. By embracing detachment, recognizing interconnected responsibility, cultivating spiritual awareness, and practicing humility, humans access a power that is unmatched, a clarity that is unshakable, and a freedom that transcends circumstance. The world may pull in many directions, but the soul anchored in purpose remains steady, resilient, and luminous. Every challenge, every loss, every encounter becomes an opportunity to awaken, to serve, and to embody the divine presence within, allowing life to be a sacred expression of wisdom, love, and transformative power.